very good morning to you all, and thank you for choosing 93.3 KFM this Saturday, the 22nd of June, 2024. This is Views, People and News, that's VPN, and I'm your host, Judith Atim. On this show, we always discuss, we look back at the events that actually shaped the news agenda in the course of the week, and we try to make sense and look critically into these issues. Our topic today is Unearthing Uganda's political syndicate, and I have interesting guests that I will be introducing in the course of the show. But just to take you through the week, from the start of the year, Ugandans have been greeted by a raft of corruption scandals or allegations, where huge sums of money have been spent questionably. But for the most part, the 11th Parliament continues to be in the eye of the storm. The Speaker of Parliament is facing sanctions from the UK and the US due to corruption allegations. A number of legislators are under police investigations as we speak on a range of corruption allegations related to budget private homes, in addition to another 500 million shillings or so, with the Speaker reported the residents in Bukedia and installing security lights. Director General Robert Mukiza of misappropriating 545 million to refund the money within 24 hours. But there was a meeting between has now been halted until investigations are conducted. Now, the reputation of our parliament is no doubt at its lowest, and the respect or esteem that was previously bestowed August House has definitely waned, except for those who perhaps you could say are benefiting or hope to benefit from some of these rogue transactions. But one can only think that Parliament has now become a place for cracking and sealing dubious deals, which unfortunately impact the taxpayer. Well, today we shall open the phone lines a little bit earlier, so you could also just share with us what you think about these developments that continue to unfold. What we know is that more MPs are still actually going to be picked up one by one in relation to these kinds of scandals. But I have with me my guest today. The first in the studio is Mr. Anthony Natif, who is a team lead, Public Square. Anthony, most welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Have you caught your breath a little bit?
Always.
Very good to have you. It's very, very good. I look forward to actually having your insights on the show. My other guest is actually on his way. That's Honorable Alioni Yorke Odria, who is the Member of Parliament for Aringa South County in Yumbe District. Before I come to you, Anton, let me just read the numbers for our callers and see if they could actually start the conversation. We could start the conversation with them earlier, then I get to you. If you're listening in and you'd like to be a part of this conversation, please call any of the following numbers: 0393 933 933, 0393 262 933, 0393 262 934. You can also reach us on 0393 266 933, 0701 933 934. or 0751 933 900. Do we have a caller on the line? Hello?
Hello, Judith.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Who am I talking to?
John here. We are listening in Kenya.
I can't hear the name.
Hello?
Can I get your name, please?
John.
On.
Yeah. We are listening in Kenya.
From Tinder.
Yeah.
saying, all these corruption scandals that keep popping up time and again. I'm sure before end of the week, there'll probably be another shocking revelation coming up. What do you make of these developments? Okay. I think we'll... Yes, hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Good morning, Judith.
Good morning.
Thanks for the show.
Who is this?
This is Ekode.
Ekode. Yes, Ekode, please. Go ahead. Share with us your thoughts.
What's trending now about corruption, for me, this would have started a long time ago. I'm very happy that actions are now taking place. However, the president, His Excellency, if he didn't want corruption to end in Uganda, it would have ended a long time ago. All the institutions are there, but we wonder why are they not working? By the time you introduce another institution to fight corruption, there's already IGs fighting corruption. There's a state house and corruption units also there fighting corruption. We wonder why are all these institutions there, and they are not doing their work. So everything goes back to the president. If you wanted it to end, it would have ended a long time ago. Currently, what's happening in Parliament? Let whoever is a victim and is convicted and is found guilty, let the law take its action. Let the president not interfere.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Ekode. And please continue tuning in. We'll probably get your views later again.
Hello.
Any other caller? Well, Natif, you're welcome to the show. And we have another caller. Okay, please. Hello.
Yes, please.
Good morning.
Morning. Hello.
You. Can I know who is calling?
This is Kenneth. Kenneth speaking here. Can you hear me?
It's not very clear.
Yes, I'm clear now. Can you?
Sure, proceed.
Yes, what I'm saying, the corruption scandal won't stop. This is just being cosmetic to show you that they are fighting corruption, but it won't end. Because it starts from plot number 1, and that's where it ends. Now, as you said, we are asking MPs, why haven't they asked? Because I remember in the speech of the president, he talked about officials from Ministry of Finance. Have you seen any heads rolling at Ministry of Finance? Why haven't they? Because these MPs are blockers. But the real deal is that the Ministry of Finance tell us why it hasn't happened, that no one has been arrested for that question, for questioning anything. So all this is just to catch us, and by the time those guys will obey you, and the whole process will end there.
Well, thanks a lot, Jonathan. Thank you for your views. Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. May I know who I'm talking to?
For the show, you're talking to Atwine.
Atwine, good to have you.
We need to have a positive mindset of whatever good thing that can happen. People have been stealing, and we've been only complaining that government is not taking any strides. The president is just talking about it, but nothing happens. Now that action is there is a shift in action, especially at Parliament. Now everyone is now criticizing to say, why are they doing it late? Yes, they have started. Let's first appreciate that step. Secondly, I think we have lost. I don't think there is any much trust in Parliament, because these are people who are supposed to be checking what government does. But now there is connivance between the two arms of government to steal from government coffers. Now who's going to be accountable to the other? Fun enough is that even those that call themselves opposition MPs, who are supposed to put also government in check, are all involved. They are all involved in money. So I'm looking at Parliament. What is the importance of Parliament to Ugandan right now, after all these scandals that are happening? I think the discussion should be to say that, do we need this Parliament? Because on top of the benefits they get, which actually takes more than I would even say 20% of government coffers, you'd find that they are not satisfied. They still want more. Someone is holding over 4 billion in a house. Someone is holding a box of dollars in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all government money, and projects are not. I would say that maybe the president did not know that he trusted too much, like any person you would trust any of your children. He trusted too much, and everyone has let him down. Now, by the time he's working on it, everyone is crying, and people are seeking favors, which is not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Ugandans, we need to appreciate the stride that we have taken, but we also need to have conclusiveness so that these people who have taken the money can pay back. To me, I want to see that this money has been paid back, and it has constructed a road in Nigeria that is full of dust, and yet these are people who are paying taxes, and more projects coming up instead of just saying they have paid back, but what has the money been used to do?
Thank you very much, Atwine. We really appreciate your views. Atwine, Jonathan, Ekode, and I think we missed John. We shall be opening the phone lines later. I know this is a burning issue that a lot of people want to contribute to. But Natif, the mic is for you now. Just give us your insights into this development. I know there was a conversation on X on Tuesday. I wanted to be a part of it, but I was hosting another space. But it was a very interesting conversation, but you're looking at the human rights aspect of things. But we are looking at now the corruption scandal as it is. The scandals, not just a scandal. It's like we're just riding one wave after another. You don't know how strong the next wave is going to be.
I mean, thank you for having me here, and thank you to the listeners. I keep telling my friends, Uganda is a crime scene, at least the public space of this country. The leadership space is a crime scene, right from, the president of this country down to the LC chairman. Everyone is looking to benefit from the project that is Uganda. And really fundamentally, I think that the way this country was set up it was set up to fail ab initio, as lawyers usually like to say from the start. Uganda is a collection of different nations put together by the Brits, not because they wanted it to function as a country, they just wanted it to function as an entity of commerce. So, unfortunately now, the questions when we got independence, suddenly they flipped the switch and wanted it to function as a republic. And I genuinely have to say that the best Republican president this country has ever had is Apollo Milton Obote, because he believed that lie that somehow you would cobble so many nations together, more than 30 nations together, and get them to work as a country. And they called it a nation state. So I feel like corruption, and recently at Public Square, my friends and I were having this conversation, and because we've been pushing the anti-corruption message so viciously, and then one of us said, let's step back. Have you thought about the possibility that the society has held the state hostage? That corruption is what probably a person like President Museveni, who is, I think, without doubt, the best student of political history at that level in this country, who, sat at the footstools of people like Milton Obote. He learned from the best, and he comes around and says, well, maybe corruption is what keeps this country together in a certain shameless way. He understands that, the country may not have enough resources to keep it functional. We may not be able to fund hospitals. We may not be able to fund construction of roads. I see there's so many roadworks going on outside your office. We may not be able to keep schools open and all that stuff. But if we somehow fool the people in Bukedia that, and because their daughter is in charge, quote unquote, is eating, therefore they are all eating. So then that corruption, the president will look away because he understands that in the place of provision of public service, he will be able to fool different regions into believing that they are represented on the national table. Whereas they are really not. Those people are buying into some sort of tribal win, while the Ugandan experiment assumes that so many tribal wins will build into a national win. So Uganda, as we can say now, is an experiment in national building that probably is held together by corruption. And I feel so terrible to say that because it's a con from our leaders and the people are not seeing that.
Thank you, Natif. I'm going to come to you shortly, but let me acknowledge the arrival of my other guest, Honorable Alioni, Yorke Odria, MP Aringa South County, Yumbe District. Honorable, you're most welcome.
Thank you so much.
I'll be coming to you shortly. We actually started the conversation by setting the tone for what was happening during the week, especially with all the corruption scandals and allegations that we've been seeing. And we actually had some very interesting feedback from some of our callers. You'll be hearing from them also shortly. But Natif was still setting the pace for this discussion. But Natif, when you say the notion that the state was designed to fail, well, it could be correct in some regard. But then if the state was designed to fail, I'm sure the people who've run this country for years, for decades, the past governments or regimes that we've seen, could have definitely understood, okay, there are certain things that are not working and we need to do right for the majority, for the people of this country. Do you think there's just no deliberate sense of care or compassion or empathy for the rest of the citizens that we keep seeing in our leaders? And do you think there's hope at some point in time that we could actually have a leader or leadership that actually prioritizes the interests of their people?
I mean, think about it. The Ugandan experiment is barely 70 years old. The Ugandan experiment, as you might know, is barely 70 years old.
So we are a work in progress.
No. Yes, we are a work in progress, but what kind of progress are we making? My brother, the MP from Yumbe, will know that in 1986, then Brigadier Moses Ali, he's from Germany, was conscripted into the Ugandan experiment. You understand that? You have so many people going like, this man is so old, why is he still in government? But we are not even sure that he's old there. Perhaps he is. But he is kept in the Ugandan experiment. He's kept in the leadership of this country because in there you have some sort of bargain that to keep this country together, you have to make different bargains with different nations. And quite frankly, those nations will be placated by corruption. Now, as a citizenry, what we want to get back to is we were to tell whoever in charge of this country that, yes, we were handed this very imperfect experiment that was built for commercial purposes. How do we turn it into a country that works for the collective? Now, that's why we activists, people in public square, people in Agora, people on the streets, the citizens of this country who can afford data and have a smartphone are coming around and saying, look, maybe we need to reset the deck and go like, yes, we accept that there's imperfections in the formation of this country. How do we then go back and say, can we make good out of imperfect. Corruption is not what unites us as people like President Museveni might think, because when you're analyzing someone like President Museveni, you need to think about him as, one, a very good student of history, two, someone who has learned from the likes of Obotem on how to lose power and how to keep power. So he will approach this Ugandan thing, this Ugandan experiment from the perspective of how do I make sure I placated enough regions in Uganda to be able to keep power. And that is what you call the Republican, maybe let's call it the Republican coalition. That if I am President Museveni from the West, have the assurance that my constituents are Western, how do I make sure I command enough power, enough support outside my principal constituency? So then he will come and go like, maybe Buganda is not my thing because I'm competing with the Bobby Wine here, Chagulanyi here, so most likely they're going to vote for him. Maybe Ebusoga is not my thing because they feel like their daughter Kadaga has been kicked out. Maybe Bugisu is not my thing necessarily. Maybe I can fight this person to the draw. Bugisu has always been rebellious. So where else can I find a stronghold for me as a politician? And then that will be Teso, that will be Karamoja, that will be the
Northern Uganda, yes.
Yeah, Northern Uganda. That will be West Nile. That's why you will see so many people from that side. They will stink up a joint, and the president will not come and go like, will not say, well, you have stunk up a joint, I'm dumping. You know, for politics, he will back them up until he doesn't need to, until he finds another path to power.
Thank you. On that note, let's take a break and then we'll come back and we'll start with you, Honorable.
Yeah.
933 KFM
VPN. Join the conversation. #KFM VPN. Post your comments on KFM Facebook. And we are streaming live on kfm.co.ug.
That's right, you're still here with us on 93.3 KFM. My name is Judith Atim. I'm your host for VPN, that is Views, People and News. Our topic today is Unearthing Uganda's political syndicate. And we've been actually looking at the whole corruption web that is actually engulfing this country, and especially at Parliament, because Parliament has been in the spotlight for such a long time now. And I'm sure we've not yet seen the end of this. There are probably bigger things that are coming up that will be unraveled later on. Honorable Alioni, I haven't heard from you, but you are one of the 4 MPs who are pushing for the censure motion against the 4 commissioners of the House. You're led by Honorable Theodore Sechikubo. I will come to you about the issue, how far you've gone in terms of collecting signature later on. But when we started this conversation, generally the feeling, the sentiment, there's just no respect for this parliament anymore. Citizens no longer hold the August House in that esteem and high regard that people had for previous parliaments. When you sit in the chambers of parliament, how do you feel as an MP? What do you actually still feel like you people deserve the title honorable? When you're inside looking out, or when you're outside looking in, what strikes you about the nature and the people who make up the Legislative House this time around?
Thank you very much, Atim. And I really don't know where to start from. But number one, I think from today I don't want anybody to call me honorable. Okay. I don't think I deserve the title. I should be called Alioni, Odria.
Good man.
Yes, I shouldn't be called honorable. I'm not, I'm a senior member now, I could say, because I was in the 10th Parliament. I know what it means to be called a honorable. Parliament has lost it. The 11th Parliament has lost it. I'll be honest on that. Before I became a member of Parliament, I used to admire that house. We've had leaders, we've had speakers, we have the WAPAs,
Francis
Ayumes, we've got secondaries, Kadaga, Olanya, the late, may his soul rest in peace. Now we have Anita Among of the 11th Parliament. What is happening? What's happening in the 11th Parliament? We have lost it. We have lost it. We are known for corruption. What is corruption, first of all? We're talking about corruption. Misconduct. Fraudulent acts. That is what the 11th Parliament is known for. I want to thank the President, His Excellency Yorke Museveni. We've been in the fight. What you see that is taking place in the 11th Parliament now is just the beginning. It's just the beginning. You've heard of arrests of members of Parliament. The few who have gone in, the few who have been arrested, just the beginning. We expect more, not less than 50. Not less than 50 members of Parliament. Yes.
Now, Honourable, when we look at, these kinds of figures, when you see these MPs, although asking for kickbacks of 20% from the Human Rights Commission, so it makes one wonder, because we're seeing this coming up from members in the Budget Committee, and now we're seeing members from the Trade Committee also being singled out for some of these corruption practices. So when you look at the 14 or 13 trillion shilling corrigendum that was actually smuggled in last minute, it puzzles someone. But now when we begin to see this arrests coming up, these accusations coming up, I was actually wondering just this morning when I was even reading the paper, and I was thinking, could it be that this 14 trillion was just smuggled to actually cater for some of these corrupt expenses? Could that be a possibility?
I can't rule out that, because first of all, I can give you guarantee that if you remember during the State of the Nation address, the President himself was very clear. He said, I have been hearing rumors, but now I have confirmed and I have evidence that there is corruption in the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda and the Ministry of Finance. So many times our budget has been played around with, especially in the 11th Parliament.
But now, as legislators, where is your oversight role? What has the House now been reduced to, that these irregularities happen and you don't have voices, yet you were actually sent there as legislators to represent people, to speak for them? If these kinds of happenings are taking place, where is your voice? What is your oversight function then?
You see...
Or are you saying, as our elected representatives, you have actually failed at your jobs and you have failed as the voters?
We have not failed. We have not failed us. We have not failed as 11th Parliament totally. But the majority are being blindfolded. You get it? Who heads the Parliament of Uganda? That's the Speaker. Have you ever taken any initiative to invite her to this station?
We would love to do that at some point.
So from today, that's the first task I'm giving you as KFM. Invite her here. Raise some of these matters and we want to see her response. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
Because the House, Parliament itself is not operating freely at the moment. Take your time, do research on that.
But Honorable.
No. I'm coming to a point. I want to tell you something simple. There's what we call the policy statement. Parliament.
Yes.
Do you know that we as members of Parliament, we don't have access to it?
You have access to the budget?
Why not? We have.
And you're part of the process.
Parliament itself.
Mm-hmm.
What are the work plans? What is the budget? What is the approved?
So, Honorable.
Listen to me. From a committee level, once committees approve, this is captured. You will never access it from the clerk's office. You can never have access to it. Right now, Parliament is being closed. They say we are for recess. Don't you think the committees have work to do? Don't you think the committees have business to conduct? Why are they off for a month? Is it because they don't have budget, they don't have money for operations? Yesterday, I was telling the media that why are we for recess? My boss, the Speaker, clearly stated we have no business to conduct. Here you see us struggle collecting signatures. I know that's where we're going next, but we are struggling to collect signatures to have our motion being put on the order paper for debate. But the Speaker made it clear that we have no business to conduct.
Yeah,
and yet we had been pushing how many times on the floor of Parliament, give us space on the order paper. This exhibition of Parliament is too much. We have matters of the commissioners. Give us space on the order paper. Now, that issue is closed in Parliament for recess. That there's no business when we have very important business to discuss.
Honorable.
Now, do you think she has a willing heart? Do you think she has that feeling to fight against corruption, especially in the highest institution of this country, that's the Parliament? I don't think so. So really, I want you to, the President has been here before. Why not the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among? Invite her here. Invite her here this week, if possible, if not Monday or Tuesday. Raise these questions. Let Ugandans get the right answers from her.
So, Alioni, let's now go to the issue of getting the signatures. Well, I know because Parliament is on recess, your efforts are being hampered. But don't you have other avenues to actually reach out to the MPs and get their signatures? And how many are you left with? About 12 now?
No. You see, the signatures, when we launched collection of signatures to impeach the 4 corrupt commissioners of Parliament, that is Honorable Selwani Solomon, Commissioner Honorable Afoyochan Esther, Commissioner Mpuga Matthias, and Commissioner I can put Prosi. these four, when we launched, it was not a simple task. We didn't expect to reach 20. From 20, we got to 50. From 50, we got to 100, 100 to 150. Now, where we've reached, it has not been easy. A lot of intimidation, a lot of phone calls from our boss to members of parliament not to sign. Not to sign.
Has any of you been threatened in any way?
Sorry?
Has any of you been threatened in any way?
Why not? We've been threatened.
What kind of threats are you receiving?
We've been threatened. Our office, our desk where we collect even signatures 2 days back was removed from there. We didn't know when we arrived. Solomon Selwani gave a directive for our office, our table, and our chairs to be removed from where we normally sit and collect our signatures. We have been called to take positions in the committees where we've rejected all that. We've got a lot of threats, but we are not scared. We are playing our role. One thing I can tell you is I'm not supposed to disclose, but I'm going to do this. Out of all the struggles we've been going through, we are only left with 8 signatures. 08.
Okay.
08. The battle is on. There is steady progress. And we are going to win this battle. But before the Speaker closed the Parliament, people are for recess, we have a new strategy. I'm not supposed to reveal.
No, it's okay.
But I'm going to reveal. I don't care. We have a regional program yet to be approved in our team. We're going to have a regional tour. Because now, the Speaker is not making us have access to members of Parliament to sign. We were in a very long recess. People came back for the budget. After that, another recess for a month. Now, we are going to move regionally. We are calling upon you, the media, to give us your support. We are calling upon the voters to give us the support. We are going to move regionally to look for these 8, because our target is not only the 177. We want over 250 signatures. We are going to move regionally. We are going to the west, which will be based in Mbarara. We sit there, get our tents or umbrellas, sit the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Call members of Parliament to come and append their signature. Those who are in support of the fight against corruption, we shall call them to come and append their signatures. We shall move to Fort Poto, we shall come to Hoima, we shall go to Jinja in Busoga, we shall go to Mbale in Bugishu, we shall go to Kapchorwa, we shall move to Lango, Lira, we shall go to Acholi sub-region in Igulu, we shall go to West Nile in Arua. Sit there. Tell the voters to send their members of Parliament to come and append their signatures in this fight against corruption, especially in the highest institution of this country. That's the Parliament of Uganda.
Mm-hmm.
We must clean that house. We must clean that house. From the commissioners, others will follow. Others will follow. People say, by the way,
Honorable, let's. I think Natif wanted to say something. Then you can come back, please.
Okay. I am really excited to hear the member of Parliament from Aringa South.
Yes. Not honorable. I said
yes. Yeah. Which is why I didn't say honorable.
Yes.
Because you sit in a dishonorable house.
True.
As someone who has been part of the citizens who have been pushing back on the corruption that we see on a daily basis in our government, I am very encouraged to hear that a member of Parliament, I believe you're still with the NRM?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, a member of Parliament on an NRM ticket.
Yes.
Is speaking this as is the norm these days, violently against corruption. But unfortunately, we need to understand that you playing in a party structure. Now, that party structure is kept together by corruption, by influence peddling, by all the things that I am encouraged to see you're rallying against. We need to go back, and I just saw that Honorable Member of Parliament Odria,
yes,
painstakingly tried to keep the president of this country and the leader of his party away from culpability for corruption. And I want to remind my brother here that the document off of which his existence as an NRM member of Parliament is rooted is the 10-point program. It has had so many iterations over the years, but the 7th point in the 10-point program is about elimination of corruption and misuse of power. If you will allow me, I will read for you. This document was issued 1983-84, depending on who in the hierarchy of the NRM you know. That point reads, Africa being a continent that never has a shortage of problems has also the problem of corruption, particularly bribery and misuse of office to serve personal interests. Corruption is indeed, remember this is the document that you gave the country as the foundational document for going to the bush. He said, corruption is indeed a problem that ranks with the problems of structural distortions that we have been talking about. We have just referred to the way in which corruption can neutralize any disease elimination programs, as the medical staff inevitably ensure that government drugs are diverted for private sale. Consequently, the patients get underdoses, which render some of the microbes resistant to those drugs and create many chronic cases. In development planning or trade, a cheaper option can be ignored in preference to a less efficient one. Because of the officials concerned see a chance of making 10% illegal commission by adopting less useful options. These types of decisions can cause distortions of great magnitude. Therefore, to enable the tracking of our backwardness, corruption must be eliminated once and for all. This is a document that the NRM issued way before 1986. Way before 1986. My comrade.
Yes.
At what point, nearly 40 years later, are you going to come to us as a citizenry and say, we lied, we do not care about this stuff, we do not believe we can fight corruption? At what point are you going to stop running on that ticket of fighting corruption? Why don't you level with us and say, look, we can't fight corruption, let everyone eat? When are you going to come to that? as a citizenry. Two, if you will allow me, we spoke about corrigenda. Now, my brother here sits in parliament. I do not. My brother here knows that the same parliament passed the Public Finance Management Act 2015. Okay? And the same parliament defined the measures, the procedure you have, the reasoning behind that thing, the complex word to the masses, that you refer to as corrigenda. Okay? That parliament said corrigenda is meant to correct errors not anticipated during the finalization of the draft budget estimates for financial year. Changes in the draft budget should not create additional pressure on items or result in arrears.
Natif, we need to wind up. We're going to we just go into a break, then we come back and we pick it up from there, right?
Yeah, I need him to understand that Parliament sitting to pass that
on 933 KFM.
Easy FM. My name is Judith Atim, and you're listening to VPN. That's Views, People, and News. Before we went into the break, Natif, you were talking about the corrigenda, or the 14 trillion corrigenda, and the illegalities around it. Could you just take it on from there, and then we give Alioni a chance to respond?
Yes. When Parliament sat to pass that budget, a budget that actually went from 52 trillion shillings, 52.736 to be precise, to 72.13 trillion shillings. Parliament allowed for a corrigenda increment, they labeled it that, to the tune of 14 trillion. That is 20% of the budget they are passing. But when you look at the Public Finance Management Act of 2015, that Parliament itself passed, and the President of this country sat and assented to, meaning it's law, says what Parliament did to pass that corrigenda in a rush was an illegality from the start. Now, unfortunately, we may not have, as citizens, the resources to take on the government
legally.
Okay, all we have is money, maybe to buy airtime and to buy MBs to complain about it. But even if we were to take on the government legally, we're going to face some judges, I will not say judges, some judges that the state will call cadre judges, who will not address themselves necessarily to the law. They will address themselves to the political wind. So, the direction of the political wind. So, unfortunately, if that is what we are facing, then we don't have much of a way out. And also our courts will not work as fast, because if I file this case today, most likely it will be determined 3 years later, when the budget I am challenging and the decisions of which I am challenging have long passed. So where do we find refuge as citizens who are actively
interested in ensuring the country actually does the right thing
according to the law? The Parliament of this country sat and approved an illegality. People need to go there just for principles of passing a corrigenda. It's in the law, the Public Finance Management Act. People should address themselves to that. 4, it will not take you 3 minutes to find that the Parliament of this country sits and approves an illegality. When my brother here tells us, oh, we are not sitting, committees should be able to work. Parliament is called when it's convenient, but we pay them every day. You understand? Work of the citizens is not being done, but the citizens are constantly getting taxes pulled out of their pocket to pay these guys to continue not working. It is an absurdity that we need to be able to address as a country.
Alioni, if you could respond.
Thank you very much. I'm very impressed today. As I told you, the 11th Parliament
is a crime scene.
It's a different thing. What happens there is when it comes to sensitive issues like dealing with the budget, passing of the budget, there are a lot of things that take place. I didn't want to involve myself too much to make statements here and there about the budget, because first of all, the chairperson of the committee of budget is a brother to the speaker.
An uncle.
Wait, an uncle. Okay, not even a brother. Uncle to the speaker. In the 2022-2023 budget, I personally visited the speaker. I told her, the parliamentary commission budget, which was existing, 21 billion shillings was sneaked in.
Not even
on top of 21 billion was sneaked in on top of the budget they had. I mentioned it. And it is that stupid stolen money that made them get drunk. And towards end of financial year 2022-2023, they were able to award themselves what we call the service award and all that, because the money was too much than what they were used to. And the financial year was ending. What did they expect them to do? To award themselves.
Wow.
With that kind of money.
Wow.
Our budget has reached a point that allocations are done on the day of presenting the budget to be passed. Editing. I can give you guarantee. The budget we passed, I didn't participate in it. I didn't. I'll be honest. It's on record. Wow. I can give you guarantee, if possible, a court order is given to peruse through the budget we passed, from facts that were presented and what is now in there, you will get trillions of shillings being sneaked in. So I gave you guarantee, and I told you, please invite my boss, the speaker, here. Ask these questions to her. Let her answer, not me.
We are here.
Yes.
We shall
invite her. Invite the chairperson budget to come here, raise these questions.
Alioni,
we are fed up.
I want to.
We are fed up.
As a legislator who
invite them here.
We are making efforts to do that. But as a legislator who has served under the current speaker and her predecessor, Kadaga, what parallels can you draw between the two in terms of their style of steering the House?
You know, Kadaga, I give her respect. My only challenge with her was that she had served for 2 terms and she wanted another term, which I believe was not right.
Did you vote for that?
That's why we had to move to Jacob Elijah and also gave the opportunity for Anita Among. I personally participated in the process of mobilizing votes for them, the two.
Do you want
Jacob
to call
Elijah,
her?
the late, and Anita Among. Obviously, Anita Among came in without any experience, especially in the legal field. She joined the School of Law from Parliament. That's one fact known. As per now, I cannot rule out that she has done some work. But she would have been a better speaker if at all we didn't lose Jacob Olanya and she remained a deputy.
To learn under someone who was rooted in constitutionality.
So, sorry?
To learn under someone who was rooted in constitutionality and understood the Ugandan experiment.
Exactly. So, unfortunately, we lost Jacob. So, I can openly say that she has done well, but somehow, somewhere.
On what grounds has she done well?
Passing of the bills, somehow. But still, no.
But Honorable, you just... Oh, no. Comrade, you said I shouldn't call you Honorable anymore because you serve in a dishonorable house.
Yes.
You cannot be the same person who says that this speaker passes budgets.
Bills. I'm not talking.
I mean, passes bills. No.
Okay, the budget.
Yeah. The budget is rooted in a bill. Passes budgets without following procedure. They dump those bills on you. And then you're telling us, we're counting the number of bills passed. If my legislator, if your people are listening to this and going like, you know what? My MP in Aringa South is telling us today on KFM that they did not participate in the budget making process. How can the same MP sit
budget passing?
Yes, budget passing process. No.
Reason being that on the actual day or a day two, documents are inserted.
Yes.
And they said if given opportunity, like a court order, to go through and verify, you will judge me.
Comrade Odria, are you familiar with the pigeonhole constitution that that Apollo Milton Obote got passed?
Yeah.
So you're telling us bills are pigeonhole bills, but you want to give the speaker credit for performance because you're counting the number of pigeonhole bills.
Not
that
the quality
the house, you're counting the quantity, not the quality. But you're telling us that the people of Aringa South were not represented in that process.
Before you go, we have a caller. We have a caller coming through.
Yes,
through.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. May I please know who I'm talking to?
Yes, I'm Mohammed from Kulinga. That is my MP.
What's your name again?
I'm called Asega Mohammed from Kulinga.
Ahmed, thank you for calling.
Yes.
MP.
I just want to contribute something when he's there. He's right. We speak like that. We speak openly. We don't want to hide things. If it is wrong, it is wrong. That is the people of Aringa, right? Even we have been following it. Some bills are basically, you can see, no, it's great. He said, I own it. That process must be changed. People must pass the bills on the vote. That one is not a good procedure. That's why Uganda has got, even you know why the MPs are now dishonest, the MP in this parliament. There is no proper procedures. Canada was hiding the MPs to be exposed. But when they brought a junior, now all MPs are exposed. That is a leadership system. I get it. Because Canada could be resistant. There's no this bill which the government is doing it is no. To cover the debt of the parliament. Now this lady is always yes. What has happened at the moment? All of them are exposed. Let us speak the truth. You speak the truth, man, from Waringa. Ngani yo ni yo dari. Ukubali kiku. Yo da ada dari. Or 4 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. If you'd like to be another caller, okay, let's have this. Then I read the numbers once again. Hello.
Yeah. Yes, KFM. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. Good. How are you?
I'm good. Busega is not complaining, but we are just mourning. Busy honorables that stand to be dishonorable.
Yes, I'm talking to.
You're talking to Juma from Busega.
Juma. Yes, Juma.
Yes, please. Thank you. I wish let us stop that parliament forever, and we use KFM to gather information proper like that. I thank you very much for that. Now, what do you see if the speaker, who is in charge of the House, and the rate of indiscipline and discrimination which are ongoing in the parliament, they have tarnished the name of parliament. We used to ask our children, okay, that parliament, the purpose of parliament is A, B, C, D, but today it is different. You know, you cannot be a suspect in twice occasions. You are Iron Chief Tiger, you are among them, but nothing was happened to you according to the law and the constitution. You are now again in the another side of commission, and you are the one of the head of commissioners. Now, why are they living this? Are they not touchable by law? You're going to have to be fair for everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Juma. The phone lines are open. You can give us a call on 03939339333, 0393262933. You can also reach us on 0393262934, 0393266933, or 0701933934, and lastly 0751933900. Thank you very much, those who've called in and shared your views and participated in the conversation. Let's go into a break now, and then we'll return with more on VPN.
933933 KFM 33933 KFM
KFM VPN. Join the conversation. #KFM VPN. Post your comments on KFM Facebook, and we are streaming live on kfm.co.ug.
Thank you very much for keeping it here at 933 KFM. This is still VPN. My name is Judith Atim. Before we went into a break, we got a call from one of our callers, Juma. It says, dissolve parliament. You know, this image, the image of this parliament is completely tarnished. We can't respect it, and so on. And he actually raised a question that is on the minds of so many Ugandans. With all these allegations we have seen of corruption against MPs, against the speaker, why is it that no one has gone for the speaker yet? Why are we having other MPs and seemingly smaller fish that are actually being picked up? What is it that, makes it so hard? If, for example, the speaker is questioned or there's an investigation launched against her, will Parliament stop functioning? There is a deputy who can. There are structures, basically, that can still run the Parliament effectively. What is it? And there's this thinking that, the president is doing this to first go for smaller people because it's a strategic move to actually get to the speaker at some point in time. Alioni, what do you make of this? Before you get there, I'm told we have a call on the line. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Morning, this is Dr. Ekwaro.
Yes, Dr. Ekwaro, good morning. Thank you for...
Yeah, I would like to thank the members in the studio for the discussion. I've been following very keenly. I would like to thank specifically the other MP from Alioni, from Yumbe. Better late than never. You see that Parliament has been doing a lot of things, and we are very disgusted with it. When you look at the issue of Mabati, it is basically just a clearing house for people who are social outcasts as far as handling the public affairs are concerned. They handle our taxes as if personal money is in their ATM, and there is no decorum. They don't actually fear because they've been doing it for a very, very long time, and now they think it is even a normal thing to steal money and even go around bragging with it. And when you look at our religious leaders, when these kids go to churches, they give them special seats in front. So corruption in Parliament has been going on for a very, very long time. And at some point, I even asked people that why can't we just dissolve that Parliament? Because you see, that Parliament, the way it is at the moment, even if we dissolve it, what shall we miss? No legislation take place. Everything is drafted by the legislator, and then these people just come and rubber stamp it. They actually behave like these people they call this street dancers. You know?
Thank you very much, Dr. Ekwaro. He actually went off.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I think maybe someone commented about Parliament. I'm happy for the Honorable Studio saying that actually he deserves not to be called Honorable, because what is supposed to be an Honorable House is turning out to be a den of thieves. My comment on that as well is to say I'm just have a key example. I know someone who recently graduated at a university, a young boy. He has entered Parliament, working in some office, but the car he is driving, the things he has put up and he's buying up, the way he's throwing out money, and you're asking yourself, this is a person who's actually throwing money more than a commissioner of URA or somewhere else, and you ask yourself, where is this money coming from? So it should be internalized to say, really, as that honorable said, it's not supposed to be called honorable. Are we supposed to have a parliament? Doesn't he think that we should just close, and we know that decision making is made by the cabinet ministers and there is no parliament? Because who's supposed to check who now? Now the president is checking parliament instead of parliament checking the president and the government. I'm a bit worried of how the government, how we are running. I don't think we should, instead of saying that we are investigating and people should look for signatures, I don't see a purpose as why Ugandans should vote for members of parliament.
Thank you. May I know your name? May I please know your name?
My name is Gavin.
Gavis. Thank you. Thank you very much, Gavis. And yes, we'll take two more callers and then we'll respond.
Yes. I call upon the government to change the system of taking oath with the Holy Quran and the Holy Bible.
Is this you again? Okay.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, good morning. May I know who I'm talking to?
I'm calling from Maria. I've been following the program. So, me as a security serving in Uganda, I'm so disappointed with the way the things are running. Reaching the time that people who are in the parliament, people who are in the government, they fear and they don't want to hear or see someone who speaks the truth. The time has come to Ugandans. We know that if you want to see where this corruption is high, where all the problem of the country is coming from, it is in parliament. What? Someone has talked about how these people how they're spending money outside. We see them. We hear them. We smell them. So, my question goes, who is that one who is supposed to see the activities, how things are spent, how things are done in the parliament? If it's not the IGG, if it's not the speaker, or if not the parliament themselves, who is responsible? So, if there's someone, or if there's no someone, can they create some department that can see the activity or work in seeing the activity being done in the parliament? We see the previous speaker. I'm so disappointed with the current speaker.
Thank you very much, Afande Emma, from calling in from Nalia. We have one more caller, and then we will close the lines.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. May I please know who I'm talking to?
I'm called Daniel.
Daniel.
It has really been quite disappointing. The house looks like it was mortgaged. And of course, mortgaging parliament means also mortgaging the country. To be honest, that house has become a clearing house of all the roads. If you went through how people are being given jobs in that parliament, the official workers are on Katebe, while the people who have just been brought in are earning money which they don't even work for. You find somebody whom you thought was not fit for a job is the one handling it.
yet the official workers are on cartel. When you see the tenders, the way they are awarding contracts, when you see the way people are being cleared, the ones whom the Auditor General has made the reports about, then somebody just says this report leak, so we are not going to table it. To be honest, the only hope we have that Parliament is supposed to clean itself.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much for calling, and thank you to all of you who have called. Generally, from these phone calls, you just get a sense of disappointment, frustration, disgust from the listeners and who are actually the citizens of this country. Alioni, let me come back to you. I'm sure you relate to a lot of the sentiments that are coming through in these phone calls.
Thank you so much, Atim. First of all, I want to thank Doctor for that wonderful comment you made. Gavi, Afande Emma, Daniel, I thank all of you for calling. My name still remains Alioni, Odria. I told you don't call me honorable anymore.
I like that.
Until I leave the 11th Parliament. Odria remains my name. Emma, you raised the matter of, Daniel, you raised the matter of jobs being given Parliament. I don't want to preempt my points and our issues in our motion that we are raising, which is targeting the impeachment of the corrupt commissioners of Parliament of Uganda. One thing I want fellow Ugandans to know is that this fight against corruption is real. That time I fought corruption, you saw me on TV that I boxed the police officer during the election of EALA, East African Members of Parliament.
Not that we condone
that
violence.
was corruption. That's why I'm not in Luzira. That time, members were still campaigning in the floor of Parliament, but 4 boxes of ballot boxes were filled. When I was tipped, half of the candidates were still campaigning on the floor of Parliament. Behind here, 4 boxes of ballot boxes were filled. That's why I was able to carry one. In the process of taking evidence to the floor, I was intercepted. Anyway, that's not for today. But that is still part of the corruption we're talking about in the Parliament of Uganda. Number 2, we are saying these commissioners award themselves service award. In the 10th Parliament...
Alioni, I mean, apart from the commissioners only, the question I asked earlier was about the Speaker.
The Speaker.
What happens if actually... I mean, what is so hard about getting her to also answer queries like we're seeing MPs being picked?
I'm getting to that. Why I'm here, the point I'm raising about impeachment of the commissioners, the rules and procedure of Parliament, Rule 110 entirely looks at the parliamentary commissioners. I'm a member of Parliament. The parliamentary commission is formed of 9 members: the Speaker, Deputy Speaker, Minister of Finance, Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition. Those ones are there, automatic. Then the 4 backbench commissioners represent us as members of Parliament in the commission. You get it?
Yes.
So, NRM, we have 3. Afoyochan Esther, Akampura, Prosi, and Solomon, that one there. Actually, that one.
Honorable.
So then we've got Mpuga Matthias. These are the backbench commissioners. They are our direct representatives. Whatever they do is like us, ourselves. You get it? These people stole taxpayers' money and awarded themselves 400 million plus 500 from Puga. We as members of Parliament, we did not pass that. The Commission's budget framework, everything must be presented to Parliament, must be debated and approved and passed by Parliament. It's in record, we did not pass that for them. They stole money. They stole government money, 1.7 billion shillings. You get the point? They stole money. Why do you award yourselves money which is not approved? You're saying service award. It's like going for a race, 100 meters race, rally. You come here, the marker says, get onto your marks, get set, go. You start. Before you reach the end, you're halfway, you're awarding yourself a gold medal. What do I mean? The commissioner's term in office is 2.5 years. These people came in office in 2021. Their term was to expire in December 2023. In 2022, after passing the budget, they awarded themselves money even before their term ended. And you want me to smile on that? I'm calling upon you, Ugandans, voters. Call your area member of parliament. Call your area member of parliament to join us in this struggle, in this fight against corruption, in the parliament of Uganda. Let them come and sign. We shouldn't be suffering collecting signatures. Call your area member of parliament. Have you signed against corruption or not? This is our request. We must clean the parliament of Uganda. We must clean it. It must be corruption free. We have issues there. It's not only about the service award. We have issues of extra allowances, the commissioners themselves.
But
these are members who are earning over 30 million in allowances monthly each. Monthly each of them. They have abused the human resource of Parliament of Uganda. It is true. They have employed illegally, they have employed their relatives in that Parliament of Uganda. That is why we're saying, please call your area member of Parliament to come and sign, so that we have this matter being put on the order paper and we bring our evidence. And we bring evidence for Ugandans to see. People are being compromised. MPs are being compromised. So, it's a collective effort. It's not about me, Odria. It's not about Seth Kubo. It's not about Sarah Opendi. It is a collective effort. And this is a non-partisan effort to fight corruption. Whether you're FDC, whether you're NUP, or what, we invite you to join us. You get it? Mm-hmm. So, you're talking about the speaker. We are dealing with the commissioners. Currently, we are dealing with our direct representatives. You get it? Issues to deal with the speaker are at another level.
You want to swallow the whistle there?
Listen. The president himself said, I used to hear, but I have confirmed and I have evidence. There is corruption in the Parliament of Uganda and the Ministry of Finance. The president said, who never had that? It's only those who don't have access to radios and TVs deep down in the village. But we are going to make them know. Now, if the president said so, who heads Parliament? And he said he has evidence. So let the president show the evidence and let him take action. He's the head of this nation. What is his problem? He now has to take action himself because he has the evidence, which some of us don't have. So let him prove the country that he has evidence. Let him act. For us, we are acting on our direct representatives, the four thieves, those four. And they're going to go. We're going to succeed in this struggle. Nobody should get scared. The world has known we're in this fight. Ugandans have known, and we are not about to give up. We are winning this battle, let me assure you. Only make sure that you call your MPs to come and append their signatures.
We only need 8.
Alioni,
Only 8, I can give you guarantee.
If I'm to ask, I know this is a non-partisan move. You're calling on all members, regardless of the political leaning.
Yes.
How many NRM MPs have signed so far? I mean, they're the majority in the House.
We are the majority.
Who have signed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we are the majority. Over 100.
And from the NUP side?
I cannot specifically say ABCD, but we published that. By the way, on a Monday, you, the media, first of all, we thank you, media houses, activists like my brother here, we thank you. It's a collective effort. Whether you're disabled, whether you're able-bodied, whether you're what, whether you're a rich person or a poor person, it's a collective effort. You get it? We are left to the 8, but that's not enough. We don't need only 177. We need over 250 signatures. We need over 250. I told you we are going to move regionally. We are going to sacrifice and move.
My brother, here is the thing. I really love the passion that my brother from Yumbe is showing. All right? I want him to bring the same energy to calling out the president to his face on matters of corruption.
My brother,
because
before I cut you short, let me tell you this. Last year, November, we had what we call NRM caucus.
Yes, we are never there. We, the activists, are not represented.
Yes, but we were in the State House in Entebbe, November. Then I recall very well, the president told us openly, he told us, State House in Entebbe, that I have information and evidence about civil servants who are corrupt, who are looting this country, who have stolen big sums of money. I need your help as the members of parliament. You support the Attorney General. Amend some laws to see that when I get these people, they must be arrested, taken to court, and
not given bail.
Listen, don't force words into me. That one he said it also. I will come to that.
Yeah, I
he
remember
said
that.
The president told us they should be imprisoned for years. That was in November last year. Come this year, February 15th. I will never forget that day. We had another caucus in Entebbe. I stood up. I told the president, Mr. President, last year we were here. We talked about corruption. Today we are talking about corruption.
I mean, the president has been talking about corruption
Listen to me.
From the 80s.
Listen.
Natif, give him room. Give him the mic.
February 2024, this year, 15th.
Yes.
I told him, Your Excellency, we are here. He told us you've got evidence of corrupt leaders. That was last year, November. It is 3 months down the road. Whom have you crushed? Whom have you crushed? Tell us. I told him. I told the president. I remember very well, the first lady was next, and she was dying of laughter.
Because it's a joke.
And the president didn't respond to me. Listen, he didn't respond to me. He responded to other questions. But now I think that question I raised, he has now started responding.
No.
He has now started responding, and I'm very proud of him.
My brother, here is a question.
I'm very proud of him. Now he has started responding. So far, we have 4 MPs.
My brother, did you sit in parliament when they were approving Jim Muhwezi to be a cabinet minister? Did you sit in parliament to approve Kaboyo? Did you give your vote to approve those people? So if you did, which is why you probably are hesitating to answer this question.
Ministers, it's the vetting committee, not me.
Yes, but
listen,
did you sit in the parliament
Excuse me. Ministers are appointed by the president. They
Yes.
are vetted by the vetting committee.
That is correct.
Of what?
Of Parliament of Uganda.
Yeah, did you
I'm
ever
not a member
oppose
of the
that?
committee. So
Did you
don't
ever
drag me
oppose that?
backwards. Today we are handling issues of corruption here.
This is the
Don't
same
drag
way.
me backwards on issues of appointing ministers. That's not my
My
business.
brother,
I'm
you
not even
sit
interested in that.
in a house that approves criminals as passed, as judged by the courts of this country, as corrupt people.
I'm not appointing-
That lady.
I'm
No.
not appointing authority.
So why do you go back to the same appointing authority and ask them something so obvious? You're asking, is this cup white? The appointing authority is telling you, yes, I can see it's
You
white,
see,
but I'm going to
you
tell
see.
you it's black.
You see,
And you're
I've
still
told
going
you-
back to the same
I've
place.
told you the question I asked in Feb 15th at State House, actions have started taking place. Now listen, and it's the president who said in Kololo, no bail for the corrupt.
No. You saying no bail is breaking the law.
Yeah.
The law allows for bail. These people might
is
be
now.
corrupt, but they have a presumption of innocence until they are proven guilty. Let's not fight corruption by breaking the law. My point here is you NRM people have rubber stamped corruption into the fabric of this country. It's how this country operates. It operates on the bedrock of corruption, and you go and you're sitting across the kingpin of corruption, the godfather of corruption, who sees it happen in this country, and you're asking them whether the sky is blue. And then they tell you the sky is purple, and you walk out of State House, come out here and tell us you fought. No, that's not fighting. Fighting is what you did when you carried that ballot box and said, this is thuggery. You see, even the Constitution in Article 3 tells you, my brother.
Gentlemen, hold your fire. Hold your fire.
I don't like people who appreciate others when they're dead.
I do appreciate your effort.
Alioni, just a few seconds. Let me read the phone lines. We're going to open the phone lines. Let's get people to also comment and be part of the conversation. 0393933933, 0393262933, 0393262934. You can reach us also on 0393266933 or 0701933934. We have a caller on the line.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. May I please know who I'm talking to and where you're calling from?
You're talking to Ahmed.
Ahmed.
Yes, sir. I'm really following the talk show. This man who was discussing my MP, he has been very good point. It is taken to court the judge. The name came through from the cabinet minister, the cabinet minister from the state to the parliament. Parliament come the head, then what they were eating. Now when everybody's dodging to swallow the rotten rat, which they've been eating quietly in the darkness, everybody's running away. Where are they running away now? If that is the point, let them pass a motion. Whoever has got a corruption background, or is a minister, or what is what, must be chased away from the parliament. That's all.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. Another caller?
Okay, yes, KFM.
Please, good morning. May I know who you are?
This still I'm finalizing just in 1 minute with questions. My first question is, if this guy is, I remember last time when we had a prime minister, Mama Mbabazi, Mama was removed from his post through the pressure that comes from the parliament. Now, we know, I'm openly saying that we know the all problem is coming from the speaker. So if member of parliament knows that the problem is coming from the member of speaker, because it's one of the head of those committees in the parliament, why don't they come with the issue, or why should they come with the idea of what they did to our mama? Secondly, I'm hearing some fire is coming out there with appointing authority. This guy of Yomba is talking about the corruption. He's not talking about the appointing of the cabinet or the minister. Now the question is, if these people, if the president or whoever appoint the people in the parliament appoint a wrong person, why don't the parliament come out and say, please, Mr. President, we have not we are not convinced with such and such because you know the background of the person.
Thank you.
How the person will run. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I think Emma touches on what Natif was saying, the integrity of the ministers or officials that are actually appointed by the president. If someone has questionable characters or questionable morals or integrity, shouldn't you have a duty or responsibility, even if it's not in the vetting committee, to at least raise and go on record that, look, I, as Alioni or whoever, I am not... I object to this for A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
Are you not given that opportunity or platforms as legislators to actually raise these issues?
Exactly.
Thank you very much. I agree with the caller. I also agree with you entirely. It calls for a lot of, I don't know which word I could use, but the bottom line is I, as Alioni, anything that paints one's integrity, especially which is linked with members of parliament or minister, I will never be in support of that. That's why I said it's now a collective effort.
But do you rally your fellow legislators to actually stand firm and object when someone with a tainted reputation is nominated or appointed for a position?
We do, we try. Sometimes things don't reach you, the media, but we always do that. Take an example. Why are we suffering to look for signatures? We have over 500 members of parliament. Why are we suffering to look for only to get the 8? Only the remaining 8.
Okay. We are running out of time, so we just have about, how many minutes? About 4-5 minutes to go. I just need us to wind up this conversation. But generally, the sentiment out there, like I said from the start, is just people don't have that respect. People are disappointed. They're disgusted. They're depressed by what is happening. Natif, let's just have you wrap up this conversation, and then we hand the mic to Alioni.
Yes, my brother. Alioni, I really thank you for the fire that you're exhibiting here. I want to see it on the floor of Parliament. The same fire that took you in the East African Legislative Assembly elections to go and say, this is thuggery, we are not going to take it. The Constitution protects you if you're fighting lawlessness.
Yes.
In Article 3, if people are violating the Constitution, the very foundation of this country, you have a duty as a citizen, and you're in the front line to go ahead and stand up and say, not anymore.
Yes.
You understand? It's not enough to tell us you ask the president questions. The president has been grappling with these questions for nearly 50 years. He put it in his 10-point program that he's going to fight corruption. This is nearly 50 years ago. More than 85% of Ugandans were not born when that document was authored. It is the very document that the Yellow Brigade runs on, and they go and wear suits in Parliament and tell us they are parliamentarians on the NRM ticket. But they haven't read the very foundational document that gets them into that position. So we need to move from just words to action. If you have to go to the president and say, you man, stop giving us speeches and act, then stop telling us stop feeding us that hope that you're fighting corruption, whereas not. Go for the heads. You see, the head of the Parliamentary Budget Committee, look into how he left Mulago as a Commissioner of Finance. What did he leave there? A trail of corruption. We need to vet these people before we hand them these positions. Why are we jailing members of Parliament on the Budget Committee, and the head is not even getting asked any questions? No, we are jailing people because Commissioner Wangaja went and reported that they were asking her to increase the budget by X billion shillings. What happens to the people who didn't report? To the people who actually agreed. Now, those people, how are they exiting that money from their MDAs to these parliamentarians' pockets? Where is the Auditor General? Is the Auditor General beyond reproach? Why are the things that Agora, Public Square, the citizens have unearthed in the parliamentary exhibition, why are those things not in the Auditor General's report? Have you asked that on the floor of Parliament?
Yes, yeah, it's okay. Well, by mentioning the head of the budget committee, you're referring to Dan Kimosho, right?
No, Honorable Isiagi. Opolot. Patrick.
Yes.
Uncle to the speaker.
Uncle to the speaker. Maybe not biological uncle, but I mean, she used to raise his children.
Alioni.
First of all, I want to thank all of you for the invitation you gave me to come on this radio station. I think I've picked interest. You may get tired of me one of these days because I'm not seeing my colleagues, my seniors who used to be very vocal and on these stations here talking about corruption in this country, abusing the president. Now they are very silent, by the way. My colleagues, senior members of parliament, you know them. They have been very vocal. Where are they? Where are they? Where is Semuju, my senior colleague? Where are you? Where is Nwagaba? Where is Segona? Where is Okupa? Where is Abdu Katuntu? Where is Sereko? Where are these people? Where are my colleagues? Why are they silent? Why are they silent? That's number one. Number two, I want to thank the president. He has started acting. He has started acting. But we want it to be uniform. He has started acting. Only 4 have gone in from parliament. The queue is long. We expect not less than 50 members of parliament to be summoned, to be taken to court, and to be taken to Luzira. Now, to the president. To the party,
we've run out of time.
Yes, really. Just in a minute. In a minute. The president, as is in this struggle, I want him to open up. He must be accessible by members of parliament. Meeting the president is like also meeting another God who is on this earth. We, even the members of parliament, we can't get him. So this message must go to the Secretary General of NRM. I am member of parliament under NRM. I'm not a honorable, I already told you, in this 11th parliament. Don't call me honorable. Secretary General, NRM, Todong Richard, Government Chief Whip, Obo Hamson, Minister for Presidency, tell the president the information he has been getting about corruption is all sugar-coated. Let him get time for some of us to tell him the truth so we can get more. We must clean the parliament of Uganda. This country must be set free corruption.
Thank you very much, Alioni. Yorke, Odria, MP Aringa South County there in Yumbe District. Anthony Natif, Team Lead, Public Square. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being a part of this conversation. Hopefully we'll have you again some other time. And to all the listeners and those who have called in, we do appreciate you so much for your insights, your views, and your comments. Thank you very much and have yourselves a wonderful weekend. VPN returns next Saturday. I'm Judith Atim. Bye.